She wants to know is looking at 3 ways to cook your turkey. There's the tried and the true, right? That's the oven method. We all recognize that. Then there's the fried turkey, okay? And then there's this last one here. This is called spatchcocking. It uses the oven, but it cuts the cooking time in half. So let's start with the traditional roasted turkey in the oven. It seems simple enough, and yet thousands of people call the Butterball hotline every single year. Right now, you can find their 8-step oven roasting guide complete with cooking times and temperatures on the website. Ooh, you hear that sizzle. Now to frying a turkey. You know, these demos, they tell a cautionary tale for sure. Here's how not to become a news story. Always use the fryer outside, not in a garage or under a porch overhang. Never fry a frozen or partially frozen turkey. It will go up in flames. And don't overfill the fryer. A day before you fry your turkey, fill that fryer with water, dip the turkey in. That way you can measure how much liquid really needs to be in there. And hey, don't forget this. Make sure the turkey is dry before you fry. Now to my favorite way to cook a turkey, spatchcocking. It is a method that requires you to split the bird down the middle, okay? So we're going to show you. You have to actually remove the backbone. You need a good pair of scissors for this. And then you lay the bird flat. Now, Two Wants to Know did this on live TV a few years ago. Now, this is sped up because it took me a little while to manhandle this bird, I got to tell you. When the bird is flat, though, it cooks more evenly. So you turn up the heat to about 450 degrees. Spatchcocking allows you to cook a 12-pound turkey in 1 hour and 15 minutes. Normally, it would take 3 hours. So spatchcocking is definitely a time saver. 3 ways to cook the turkey, friends.
And I don't remember, was there a downside to spatchcocking?
It's just that you have to manhandle that bird.
And it's not going to come out looking the traditional full bird.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting is that most people don't serve it that way, right?
All cut it
it's
up.
all cut.
It's all cut up before you even put it on the table. So why would you not? And then all the skin gets crispy with the spatchcocking. You know how sometimes the underneath of the turkey doesn't get crispy because it's, you know, got all the juices and stuff around. So
good to know.
All right, one last thing about Thanksgiving cooking. Even if you're not the one doing the turkey,
It's about 3 times as many fires on Thanksgiving than any other day of the year.
all right, so that many fires, stovetop fires are common. The one thing you don't do, you do not throw the water on the fire. What you do instead is you place a lid on the pot that is on fire. Again, never throw water on that stovetop.